A very good afternoon to one and all. I, Ruby Gill, welcome all the attendees as our prestigious speakers on the behalf of Lovely Professional University for today's webinar on the topic Food for Thought, Agriculture as Profession. So attendees today, you'll savor a feast of knowledge from our raved speakers, so allow me to introduce them. Dr. Chandra Mohan Mehta, Associate Professor, Deputy Dean, School of Agriculture, a dynamic professional with postdoctorate from G.B. Pant University of Agriculture and Technology. He has been very instrumental in research when it comes to education. To his credit, he has more than 35 publications in highly reputed journals. His research interest lies in plant microbe interaction. He has traveled many countries as a visiting scientist and academic guest as well. So it's a privilege to have you on board with us today, sir. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Good evening, one and all. So today we are
an admission expert also who will be joining us. Yeah. So I would like to welcome our admission expert, Dr. Tushinder Preet Kaur, Professor, Mittal School of Business and Coordinator of CEL, Division of Admissions, Lovely Professional University. She'll provide you an insight of eligibility, fee, scholarship, infrastructure of the university, which I'm pretty much sure will make you save a lot of money. So thank you, ma'am, for joining. With this, we'll begin our session. So now, over to you, Dr. Chandra Mohan Mehta, sir, for the content of today.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And good evening, one and all. I hope you can see my presentation and this. Let me make it for this. Yeah. Is it okay now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you. So today's webinar is on food for thoughts, agriculture as a profession, right? So you can see one picture in the background where you can see there's a kind of image where we are representing a kind of human being. And instead of brain, we are talking about the food, right? So why we are talking about this food for thought? There is a relation between the thoughts and what kind of foods we are having in our daily life, right? And once we are talking about the food, it becomes very, very crucial point that what kind of food we are eating in everyday life, right? So I will start this webinar with a quote: feed your mind as often as you feed your body. That means whatever we are, what kind of foods we are having, or what kind of feeding habit we are having, it will directly impact in our mind also, or in our thought process also. So today, starting when we are talking about the food, it is directly associated with your agriculture part, because without agriculture we cannot talk about the food, right? And once if I'm talking about the agriculture graduates or any person who is interested in agriculture, so he understands food and agriculture practices very, very properly, right? And why we are discussing this topic over here, what is the need of this discussion, that the role of agriculture, and then what we are looking for, what kind of possibilities are there, what kind of opportunities are there if you are doing your agriculture or if you are becoming an agriculture graduate. So whenever we are talking about agriculture as a profession, so this becomes very, very interesting, that what kind of opportunities we are getting in future, right? As a profession where we keep this agriculture course or agriculture program. And whenever we talk about a program, it always depends on that what kind of demand or what kind of requirement of that particular program in coming future. And this we can easily understand with this statement, that whenever we talk about that there is a kind of need, then we are providing the same amount of things into the market. Or in other terms, we can say that if there is a need, then we are growing these things in that manner, right? Need and supply part. And if we look into the future of agriculture, we can see one picture over here in the left side. If you look into this picture, this left part is representing what or how much amount of food we are producing right now. Okay, And in the right side, if you see that in the after dotted line, you will see that how much food is required by 2050. And if we are calculating it, it becomes that around 60% more food is required by 2050. It means there is a lot of stress in agricultural practices. Yes, at one part, it is a challenge. But if we are talking about the opportunities, whenever we are having challenges, there are more opportunity to work. So we are having limited land area. We are not increasing the land area for agricultural practices. Or in other terms, if I say that it is continuously year by year, it is decreasing the land area where we are doing this agriculture production. Now there is a big challenge that from the same land, how we can get 60% more food by 2050. If we are not doing that, then there will be problem of hunger that we have faced in 1980s. And once green revolution came into the picture, then somehow we were able to manage that hunger or that requirement. Now there is another requirement of this revolution. Okay, and for that revolution, who will be working in that area? Farmers. If we are expecting farmers will do that, no, individually they cannot do it. We have to be part of those farmers, or we have to be a part of agricultural practices, then only we can achieve these targets. Because if you go to the farmer, he will exactly tell you, okay, this is the time of sowing, this much seed is required, this amount of fertilizer is required, and even he is not exactly knowing that is this the exact requirement of that particular crop, is this the exact amount of the fertilizer which is required by the crop. He is just using a common practices which is being followed by other farmers in that area. So now that area become very, very crucial, that how judiciously we are using our resources. And if we are using our resources in a proper manner, if we are growing our crop in a proper manner, then this target is achievable. So there will be a huge demand in upcoming years. There will be a huge demand into the market industry, because industry is there who is providing all these kind of solution to the farmers. And who are the person who is working in these industries? Agriculture graduates are there. And if I'm talking about research part, I'm not talking only about the placement or the industry part. If I'm talking about research part, if we are developing a new variety, who is developing that new variety? Scientists who are working in agriculture sector. And this is much needed thing in upcoming future. And if you look into the right picture also, I'm not talking about only one crop requirement by 2050, which is required 60% more, 60% or more. We are talking about all the kind of crops which we are growing right now. In every area, or at least or around 60% increase is required. If we are talking about cereal, if we are talking about pulses, or if we are talking about any other crop. So this kind of target gives an opportunity to work into the agriculture sector, so that you are having more and more opportunity to do work to get this target achieved. And how we can achieve this? It is not just a farming that nowadays we are talking about. We are talking about smart farming nowadays. How judiciously, if I'm talking this term judiciously, that means how effectively we are doing our cultivation practices. In this picture, you can see that we are having normal cultivation practices. And nowadays we are talking about IoT, Internet of Things, or introduction of these technology into agriculture sector. And in this picture, you can see that we are taking image of that particular land. And we clearly knowing that, okay, in this particular area, there is requirement of that particular fertilizer. Then why we have to apply this fertilizer all over the field, which is not required over there? If I'm limiting, or if I am minimizing the resources, that means I'm saving money. Then in return, I will be getting good profit out of it, right? So the technology involvement in agriculture become very, very crucial at present day. And this is a very, very well-known quote given by our honorable Prime Minister, that double the farmer's income. How we can do that? How we can achieve it? For same amount of the produce the farmer is growing, we are giving extra money to them? No, this is not the way to double farmers' income. How we can increase the income of farmer? The very best or the most important thing is how effectively we are doing our cultivation practices. Means If you ask a farmer that what kind of seed or what kind of variety he's growing, he will be telling you this. How much amount? He will be telling you, okay, this amount per acre. Is the requirement of that particular land? If you talk about fertilizer or if you talk about any chemical, in the bags or in the packet, it is written that suppose we are talking about 5 to 10 ml in per liter. He will thought that okay, 5 ml, it is very little amount. So at less, let's go for 10 ml. So there is no benefit of adding these extra things. It is just adding the money value into its cultivation cost. So we need to minimize it. Once we are talking about this post-harvest loss, you can see that in agricultural practices, the major, if we are talking about vegetables and fruits, we are having a major loss in post-harvest part. We are growing good, but we are not able to keep it proper in a proper way. So we need to have that kind of technology so that whatever produce is there, we can manage it properly. So these are the small things by which we can increase the income of farmer, right? So once we talk about the opportunity, so I would like to compare the agriculture program with other programs also. So if you are a normal graduate, you are having some opportunities in uh, government sector, in some private sector, and then in particular areas. But once you become a agriculture graduate, in that situation, you are having rest of the opportunity which a normal graduate is getting. Along with that, you are having more opportunity in agriculture sector. You can go into agriculture education, you can be an agriculture economics part, agriculture engineering part, genetics plant breeding part, agronomy, soil science, food technology, animal science, and farming. All these areas are open to you. So that's why we always say that in compared to a normal graduate, agriculture graduate is always having lots and lots of opportunity. And if you see into the slide, I have highlighted one point over here that ICR, I hope everyone know this ICR, Indian Council of Agriculture Research. In 2016, they have declared this UG degree in agriculture and allied subject as a professional degree. What does it mean? Suppose you want to start any kind of business related to agriculture. You don't need to go for a separate certification of that. Like if we are talking about bee pharmacy, right? If the student is doing pharmacy, then he is capable to open his medical store. In the similar way, if you are an agriculture graduate, you are allowed to work or you are allowed to start your own business without having any extra certification. So this gives you additional opportunity that you don't have only opportunity in working in the government sector or private sector. You can start your own business. Lots of opportunities are there. And this picture reflecting that what kind of opportunities an agriculture graduate is having. He or she can go for higher studies. You are having job opportunities in government, private sector. You can go ahead with startup, entrepreneurship, your own business. And you can walk into the research sector, you can become scientist, and then you can walk into the area of research. And I have highlighted few of the areas, the organization, private, government, and private organization, where an agriculture graduate is having opportunity. ADO is there, BDO, extension officer, agriculture officer, farm manager is there, plantation manager is there, SMS is there, business development manager is there, seed technology firm is there. So you are having a huge amount of opportunities once we are talking about agriculture sector. It is not a kind of limited thing. Nowadays, you see that every individual program is somehow related with agriculture. If we are talking about technology, any kind of technology is there, somehow it is related with your agriculture itself. As I have talked about Internet of Things, if you are looking for computer-based programs, in that part also, students are more and more interested to work into agriculture sector because over there they are having lots of opportunities. There are lots of things which they can explore. And once we talk about this agriculture program, yes, we are offering these agriculture program at LPU. Then why you have to select LPU if you are looking for agriculture program? I hope everyone know that we became the first private university who got this ICR accreditation in 2018. Before that, none of the private university was getting this accreditation, and we have applied for it. We convince to the ICR that yes, as a private organization also, we are providing the same kind of input that you are providing as a government institute or organization. So why we are not eligible for this ICR accreditation? So looking into this aspects, they allowed us for application for accreditation, and we have got a very good remarks or very good rating. Out of 5, out of 4, we have got 3.6, 3.7 rating for our agriculture program. And the second affiliation that we are talking about, since we are in Punjab, and here we are having special kind of guidelines that if you want to start your agriculture program, then you have to have this affiliation from Punjab State Council for Agriculture Education. And once it was announced, immediately we have applied for it, and then we have that affiliation also. And what kind of programs we are offering? If we are talking about UG programs, we are offering BSc Honors Agriculture. And in PG program part, we are offering all the PG programs, including your agronomy, genetics, plant breeding, soil sciences there, plant pathology, entomology, food science, vegetable sciences there, floriculture and landscaping is there. And this year we have started 2 new programs, that is agriculture education, agriculture economics, and agriculture extension. So we are having all these programs at PG level, at UG level, we are having BSc Honors Agriculture. And once we are talking about this BSc Honors Agriculture program, how we define this agriculture program? What is the roadmap of this agriculture program, BSc Honors Agriculture program? All you know that agriculture program is 4-year program. So we can clearly divide this into 4 different years or 4 different phases of learning. In the first year, since most of you are not from agriculture background, so we are providing a basic and fundamental input of the agriculture, so that you can well versed with the agriculture thing, that means what kind of crops are there, how they looks like, how we can identify these crops, what is the property of soil, what kind of basic breeding things are there, what kind of insects are there, pests are there. So you are getting all these basic and fundamental information in your very first year. So taking this information while you are moving to the next year, here it becomes somehow scientific part, principle or technology thing. Then how scientifically you grow a particular crop, and what kind of challenges are there, and what kind of remedial solution for these kind of challenges, or what kind of management practices are there. So all these things are being taught into the second year. So now once you are completing your second year, now you are well versed with this agricultural practices. In third year, it is a more kind of learning part. That means you are doing the things by yourself. It is more about the production system, right? Suppose I'm talking about a practical crop production, there is a kind of course. So from very field preparation till harvesting, you are doing all these things by yourself. You are being allocated with a particular land, a group of students are working over there under guidance of a particular faculty, and then you are doing all these things by yourself. Because agriculture is not a kind of subject which is being taught in classroom, or which you can learn through the classroom teaching. It is more about the practical component. So if you are having a field experience, then only you will be aware that what kind of challenges are there, because the theoretical part and practical part is totally different. Maybe you are in theory, you can study the things, you can learn the things, you can remember the things. But while you are moving to the field part, the challenges become totally different. So you have to have that kind of experience to work into the field. So at end of the third year, you are having a complete knowledge of agriculture. Now coming to the fourth year, this year is specifically designed for skill and entrepreneurship development. Means if any of the student is willing to start his own business, own entrepreneurship, or he want to work into the industry, so he have to have a kind of knowledge, he have to have a kind of skill that is required. So in this fourth year, you don't have any theory or practical courses. It is completely skill-based training modules are there, where we are having rural agriculture work experience along with that industrial attachment, and then you are having experience a learning program also, where you will be selecting a kind of module in which you want to work. Like if you are looking for a kind of startup in mushroom production or honeybee production, so you'll be getting a complete training onto that skill set, so that while you are completing your degree, after completion of your degree, you can start your own business. So we are providing that kind of opportunity into the final year. And here you can see some of the glimpse of the hands-on experiences that the students are getting over here. These are some of the pictures from agriculture land. You can see that students are working commercial flower production, beekeeping, mushroom cultivation, nursery management, seed production, and along with that, waste management that we are talking about, vermicomposting units are also there. And these are some other glimpses where students, you can see actually see that how the students are working in the field. These are the pictures of agriculture graduates who are at LPU. They are pursuing their masters and BSc honors agriculture, and then they are working in the field. Again, as I said, that it is a not kind of program which you can learn from the classroom learning, classroom teaching. So you have to have that experience. So we are providing all these kind of experience to the student so that once they are completing their degree, they are confident enough to work into the field. And along with that, industry become a very crucial component while we are talking about agriculture, because university, industry, and the farmer, or research, industry, and the farmer, all these three things are connected, right? So we are providing opportunity to the student to work into the industry. They are working in the lab, industry labs. They are working in the field, and then they are communicating with the farmers. They are providing solution to the farmers based on what kind of industry they are choosing. And you can see some of the glimpse. I hope everyone know about the Syngenta. So every year there's a kind of risk project which we are floating in the for the final year students. They are working in the Syngenta company, and then they are getting trained over there so that they are well prepared for the industry challenges. And here is the roadmap of masters. And in this master part, this is a 2-year program. I hope once we are talking about this MSc program, everyone is agriculture graduate, right? After completion of graduate, you are having basic or all the information related to the crop. So once we are moving to the MSc part, in that part, it is more towards the research, principal part, modern technology part. What kind of technology, advanced technology we are following in agricultural practices? What kind of research is being done into the agriculture sector? So this masters become more research oriented. And in final year, students are completely engaged in their research work, taking the problem statement from the farmers, from the industry, and then they are working on it. And then they are providing solution to the industry or to the farmers based on their research. Here you can see some of the glimpses that I have talked about. We are offering all the master's program. In agronomy part, you can see that cultivation practices and the nutrient management, weed management, all these things are being taken care by the students. So these are some of the trials or experiments conducted by the students. And you can see that what kind of impacts and differences in the different treatments. Once we are talking about genetics and plant breeding, it is more related to your developing a new variety or making hybrids. So you can see the students are working into that area. Coming to the soil science part, yes, without soil, it becomes very difficult to manage our crop. If soil is healthy, half of the work is done. The crop will be performing very good because it is getting proper nutrient, proper water, everything. It is getting appropriate things from the soil. Then the management practice become very easy. So a proper understanding of soil is also required. So in soil science part, students are working in this area, that what kind of soil pH, irrigation part, and the nutrient management part, they are working in that sector. Pathology, it is more related to the pathogens, that means diseases by bacteria, fungi, and viruses, because once we are growing our crop, everything is fine, but at the end, we don't know that, okay, what kind of disease is there and how we can manage it. Then it becomes very difficult to manage our crop to get yield from that crop. So the pathology is related to that area, that students are working in the management studies of different pathogens, which in different crops. Similarly, in entomology, along with pathogens, insects are there, where we are facing lots of challenges. They are creating a lot of problems to our crops, and how we can manage that. What kind of different technologies are there? Different advancements are there. So students working in that area. Along with that, horticulture, it is belonging to your fruit production, and then vegetable production, and then floriculture and landscaping. In fruit part, the major challenge that we are facing, as I mentioned in my earlier slide, that post-harvest loss of fruit is a very major challenge in agriculture practices in India. So students are working in those sectors, that by taking certain experiment, by doing certain experiment, how we can increase the shelf life of these fruits. So many of the students are working in that area. In flower production, if you are looking for flower production, it is not just growing a crop and then getting flower out of it, because at the certain time we are having several challenges in flower also. So if we are looking into the commercial part, so it becomes very, very crucial that we have to manage all these problems also. So many of the students are working in that area. And this is the vegetable production, where students are working on different vegetables, nursery production, and how we can increase the production or productivity of these vegetables. So with this quote, I would like to conclude my this webinar given by this George Washington. I hope everyone knows George Washington. Agriculture is the most helpful, most useful, and most noble employment of a man. So with this, I'm concluding my webinar. I hope you got some glimpse or some idea about the agricultural practices. And if there are any questions, I will be happy to answer them. Thank you, everyone. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your vision. And this was indeed such an informative session. And I believe all the attendees will be benefited from this. So, we have few queries from our attendees. Can we take up those queries? Sir, am I audible to you, sir?
Yeah. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. So can we take a few queries from our attendees, sir?
Yeah. Please go ahead. Yeah, please go ahead.
All right. Okay, sir. So, sir, there is a question from Prabhakar Mishra. He wants to know that as you were discussing about various fields in after this, sorry, in this master's course, he wants to know that if he wants to do beekeeping as well as flower production, then what is the future perspective, or what kind of placement, or what kind of opportunities he can get after this?
So he's looking for bee production, beekeeping, and what was the next part?
Flower production.
Plant protection.
Flowers
Flower
production.
production. Yeah, listen. So if we are talking about this beekeeping, it is directly associated with the flower, right? Even if you are doing entomology or you are doing this floriculture, in both way you are having some kind of connect with these bees, right? Once we are talking about honey production, then for that you have to have the knowledge of flower, that what kind of flowers we have to grow, in which season we have to grow these flowers, and if we are talking about annual or seasonal flowers, you have to have that knowledge. So this becomes very, very important if you are getting training into honeybee production part and you are doing your masters in floriculture. So it becomes a very, very kind of you can say very interesting you can say combination, because then you are having both the information. You are having the knowledge of honeybee, and you are having the proper knowledge of flower, so that once you are starting your own business, then you can manage it very easily. You are very well versed with the this honeybee part, and then you are well versed with the flower part. Okay, in this season I have to grow these flowers so that I can there will be a proper food or nectar for these honeybees, right? So this is very, very interesting part. So you can go ahead with both the things. There is no issue. Yes, you can go ahead with both the things. There is no issue.
All right. Thank you so much, sir, for resolving the query. I think, sir, there is somewhat internet glitches there, or there's a poor connection from your side, sir.
Yeah.
All right, sir. Okay. So,
Okay.
another question
Am I audible
from
now?
Saha. Yes, sir, you are audible.
Yeah.
There is another question from Pankaj Saha. He wants to know more about MSc Agriculture Entomology. Could you please throw some
Okay.
light on
So what kind of
MSc Entomology?
yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
sir.
In entomology part, we are talking about insects. Specifically, this become because after completing your graduation, in graduation part, you are having all these courses. Whatever I have talked about a master's program, so you are having all these courses during your graduation. So once you are looking for your masters, you are having plenty of opportunity to work into different sectors. So if you talk about this entomology part, so in entomology, you will be studying more and more about insect, both beneficial and harmful insect. which are creating problem for the plants or which are helpful to the plants. So in this part, the students are working in the majorly the what kind of challenges we are facing in the crop, because every year we are getting new insects which are damaging our crop. So the management practices become very, very crucial for these things. Because once we are having attack of insect, you may have heard about the attack last year, there was an attack of grasshopper. And in a single night, this whole crop is washed away, or it is being eaten up, right? Or it is being damaged. So we have to have those kind of solution, and from where we will get that solution. So once you are doing this entomology part, you will understand the insect, and you will understand its you can say physiology, its morphology, its a digestive system, and then looking into those aspects, you can develop a kind of chemicals or any kind of solution so that you can manage these kind of insects. And along with that, you can preserve the natural beneficial, or we can say beneficial insect, like honeybee is there, and some other insects which are feeding on other insects, also harmful insect. So these kind of knowledge is being given into the entomology part.
Thank you so much, sir. So last but not the least, sir, so many attendees, they want to know about ICAR accreditation, as we are the first private university to have it. So could you please throw some light on ICAR, that which programs are affiliated from ICAR in masters?
Okay. So once, if you talk about this ICR accreditation, yes, in the website it is clearly mentioned that right now we have accreditation for BSc Agriculture, MSc Agronomy, Genetics, Plant Breeding, and Food Science, right? But it does not mean that rest of the programs is not having that ICR accreditation. The reason being, at that point of time when we applied for ICR accreditation, these programs were not eligible. Eligible in the sense because the basic criteria is there should be a kind of batch, student batch, which should be passed for that particular program. So those rest of the programs were just started at that point of time. So we were not eligible for those programs. But once we talk about ICR accreditation, many of the students are thinking that by 2023 it will be over. No. Accreditation is not stopped, or accreditation cannot be ended. It is just renewal. Every 5 years we have to apply for renewal of this ICR accreditation, and it is applicable for all government, private, any kind of university. And in the same process we are right now. Now this time we are applying for all the programs because we are eligible for all these programs. And by end of this year, we will be applying accreditation for all the programs. And by next year, we will be definitely getting this or renewal of accreditation for the programs which we have already applied. And then we will be getting accreditation for new programs as well. So there is no issue of ICR accreditation if we are talking about.
Thank you so much, sir, for resolving all the queries of our attendees. And now we'll quickly move to our admission expert, Dr. Tushinder Preet Kaur, ma'am. So over to you, ma'am, for the admission part.
Thank you so much, Miss Ruby. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible, but your camera is off.
All right. All right. Thank you so much. A very good afternoon to each one of you. Hope you all are fine and safe at your places, guys. So I'm going to speak about the rankings, the campus life, the infrastructure, last but not the least. As outrightly mentioned by Miss Ruby, I'll tell you the measures to save your money so that you can increase your pocket money. Guys, it gives me immense pleasure to share that 13 students of lovely professional university, they represented India in Tokyo Olympics 2020, wherein they brought laurels by winning gold, silver, and bronze medals. But the story doesn't end here, as the university team lifts runner-up trophy at Hello India University Games, and wherein it is pertinent to mention that the university won 51 medals, to highlight 17 gold, 15 silver and 19 bronze medals. So I'll move ahead with the rankings which university is having. Lovely Professional University has been ranked 74th globally by the Times Higher Education Ranking, Impact Ranking 2022. The university has been ranked 36th among top universities of India by Times Higher Education World University Ranking 2022. It gives me immense pleasure to share that the university has been ranked third in India in Atal ranking of institutions on innovation achievements. Now I'll be briefing you all about the campus life and the exposure offered. Though Dr. Chandramohan explained what kind of exposure will be given to the student in the school, but I'm going to talk about the exposure across the university. The university proudly hosted 106th Indian Science Congress, which was inaugurated by Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi ji, wherein he renamed the slogan as Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan, Jai Vigyan, Jai Anusandhan. The glimpse of Nobel Laureate of Peace and the great spiritual leader, Dalai Lama ji, he's a leader of Tibet. He graced the convocation of the university. I'm sorry, this is a glimpse where you can have a look upon. You can see two presidents of president of two countries. They have both graced the convocation at Lovely Professional University. We do invite your entrepreneurial ideas. We have a special school that we call it as the Startup School, which was inaugurated by late Shri Arun Jaitley ji. This face is much familiar to you all. He is world-renowned life coach Gaur Gopal Das. He interacted with the students and told the ways to lead a happy life. Apart from the great leaders, the university has welcomed these celebrities, the glimpse of which you can see right now of Shah Rukh Khan and Deepika Padukone, who visited the university and interacted with the students. This is again not a new face to you. He's none other than our former captain of Indian team, Mahendra Singh Dhoni. He also visited the university and interacted with the students. Now I'm going to give you a brief regarding the infrastructure which university is possessing. Let me tell you, the infrastructure of the university is one of the largest and the biggest infrastructure in the world. To start with, the university has 2 amphitheaters which are used to organize the nukkad nataks, events, competitions, etc. This is the one biggest auditorium. We call it as Shanti Devi Mittal Auditorium. In total, university is having 3 auditoriums, but this is the biggest auditorium with a seating capacity of 2,200 people. Basically, this auditorium is used to organize the workshops, the conferences, the events of national as well as the international repute. This is basically termed as the heart and soul of the university, wherein you will find all kinds of shops ranging from stationery to lovely sweets, maybe the books, anything you have into your mind, you will find in this uni center. So we do have the incubation centers. We do invite your entrepreneurial ideas. This is a glimpse of a central library. University has 9-storied central library with more than 20 lakh plus, 20 lakh text as the reference books. We have databases for the research which you have into your mind. Any data records you want, we have it for you. Just to bring you out of the academic monotony, we have a bowling area. Those who are gym free, we have gym facility, world-class facilities such as AC, sauna, and the other related facilities are also provided. Specialized trainers are also provided for you. We care for your health. We do have uni hospital wherein ambulance facility, the 24/7 facilities are provided. We have hospital beds. So you will be finding every single thing within the premises of Lovely Professional University. There's no need to go out and buy the other things. You will find everything in one campus. This is a glimpse or the picture of Shanti Devi Mittal Indoor Stadium. I'll show you the glimpse. This is a biggest swimming pool. In total, we are having 3 swimming pools, which are of all weather. Then badminton courts are there. In total, 12 badminton courts are there. Shooting range is there. And yes, this is the day view of the university where you are planning to take your decision. This is the night view in general, and in particular, this is the night view of the residential facilities. Now I'll take you through the website where you can have a look of the details regarding the program in which you are interested. So if you all are with me, you can write down the website link. It's lpu.in. Under that, yeah, just give me a second. Yeah, here we are. So on the website, you need to click on the admissions. You need to identify for which particular program you are seeking admission, be it undergraduate or postgraduate. I'm taking example for undergraduate program. Click on the undergraduate. By clicking on this option, we'll have these kind of disciplines in front of us. Undoubtedly, you will be looking for the agriculture program, agriculture discipline. By clicking on the option, we are having 4 years agriculture program, that is BSc Honors Agriculture, which is ICAR approved as highlighted by Dr. Chandran sir. So I'll be scrolling it. You can see the information. The duration for this particular program is 4 years, equivalent to 8 semesters. The eligibility is also clearly mentioned. You need to mandatorily clear the university's exam, that is LPU NEST, which serves 2 purposes, eligibility as well as the scholarship. So 1 test, 2 purposes, eligibility as well as the scholarship. So ranking part, I have already discussed with you. Moving ahead with the, yes, you might be a little anxious to know what kind of courses will be taught to you. Don't be so anxious. Go through the website, have a look. We start from fundamentals and we end up with the application part. So you can have a look upon the courses. Yes, I'm going ahead to the fee structure. The fee structure for this program is 1,20,000 per semester. And we are also floating the scholarship, and the scholarship slab is from 18 to 38%. So better you perform, better will be the scholarship. So we are giving you the scholarship on the basis of your previous percentage, on the basis of your LPU NEST exam, on the basis of JEE mains or NEET. We do have the other special scholarships, the details of which, like innovation, startup, entrepreneurship. If you have any kind of certificate with you wherein you have performed, you have achieved something, click a pic, drop a mail at admissions@lpu.co.in. Our team will definitely get back to you and will revert you on the type of scholarship which you will be having. Then we have the financial aid, again for retired, CAPF, paramilitary, as well as their dependents. So on this page, I briefed you about the eligibility. I briefed you about what all courses you will undergo, the fee structure, the scholarship, and yes, I also want to show you that how you can apply for the exam, or what are the process involved. So you need to sign up. Then you need to apply for the university's exam, which I told you, the exam which will serve 2 purposes, eligibility as well as scholarship. Then you need to book the exam slot. Result will be out, and then you will move ahead with the admission. Undoubtedly, dates are mentioned, but I always advise to the aspirants not to wait for the last date. Book your LPU NEST, give with full zeal so that you can fetch maximum scholarship. Let's suppose you have some question into your mind. Don't keep that question with yourself. We are available on WhatsApp. You click on this, you will be talking to our counselor at WhatsApp. Then if you want to schedule a call, click on this icon, mention the details, you will be receiving the call. This I will definitely ask to do so. This is the 360-degree view of the university, which should be checked. You can go through it and identify what all the facilities you can have a look upon. We invite you to visit the campus as well, but definitely go ahead with the 360-degree view. Then we are available on the live video counseling. If you have any query into your mind, don't keep it into your mind. By clicking on this, you will be directly interacting with our experts and you will be getting the solutions for the queries which will be there into your mind. So I'll be just taking a last minute because this was all about the particular program. But I know, guys, this is the right time. You will be having the into your mind what to do, what not to do. It's okay. We have the list of webinars already conducted and some webinars are in the pipeline. So you can click on that webinars page through admissions and you can see the YouTube links of the already conducted webinars, as well as you can register yourself for the upcoming webinars. I can again show you the link. Go to admissions. Therein you will find this as LPU's Edu Fair webinars. So this will lead you to a page where you can see the past recordings, as well as you can register yourself for the upcoming webinar. Now the point is how to register, either to click on the registration process or you can scan the QR code. So it's over from my side, Ruby ma'am. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for the detailed information about the admission part of our university and attendees. You have heard her. Good things come to people who wait, but better things come to those who go out and get them. So don't just sit back and relax. Grab the opportunity to take admission in your preferred program and get the early decision benefits. So thank you so much, experts. This webinar was on food for thought, agriculture as a profession, and experts, your years of research, your depth of understanding the topic, and your ability to present the topic in such an interesting way produce one of the most wonderful afternoons for all the attendees. So on behalf of all the attendees of this webinar, I want to thank you for your insightful presentation. Hopefully, attendees found this webinar to be valuable and will be able to utilize the information provided in this webinar to take better decisions regarding admission. So attendees, thank you so much. I enjoyed bringing this session to you and I hope you enjoyed it. Enjoy listening to it as much. So until next time, I am Ruby Gill, sign off. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, ma'am, and thank you, everyone.
Thanks.
Thank you so much, sir.